Hello, everyone, and welcome to Prince School. I'm really excited about what we just put out on the platform and this resource. I think it's going to help so many people, 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 so many people. And so we're going to just deep dive and jump into this. We have a blog article that has gone live onto the website. I've been working on blog articles and resources. And so this has been really great. And so I want to show you guys really quickly what it looks like so that when you go to the blog, you'll be able to access all of this information in depth on how to create your planner and journal project. Okay, so I have a free resource that I have created for you guys, and you'll be able to access this in the blog article as of today. I am going to send out an email to the Prince School email community. I know it's been over a year since I have put out a video. It has been a long time coming, but I have been working on content, and bam, here we go. So let's kick off the year with this new resource, this new content. I believe it's going to help you guys. So first of all, welcome to Prince School. My name is Genesis Dorsey, and I'm the owner of Glam Print Go and Prince School, which is a YouTube community of women, female entrepreneurs, and just women who are passionate about creating planners and journals for people around the world, no matter what that niche is. And on Prince School, I try to create content that I believe will help you in your journey of launching your planner and journal business, or just launching a planner and journal concept in general, and just the supporting things that happen with that. And so since it's been, again, over a year, I've gotten a lot of questions, and I have been reading the comments in the, some of our most popular videos, and it has definitely helped me to see, okay, we need to cover this, we have to cover this, we have to cover that, we have to cover that. And one of the questions that I did not have a video for was, how do I get started as far as planning the project out? So you're learning about how to design one. You're learning about, picking your manufacturers or printers, but how do I frame the project? And this is something that I do with my clients. And so I was like, well, let me just talk about how it works. And so today's video, I'm going to give you guys the 5 steps to planning your project, because it's easy to just, have all of these ideas, but how do you sort them out? How do you organize your content? Where do you put what? How do you plan out deadlines? Let's talk about it. So with today, again, I've written an article on the blog. The link is in the description box with these videos. We are streaming on 3 different platforms. And so there is a article link where you will be able to read everything that I'm saying in depth. And at the bottom of the article is this free resource. And this is your planner and journal planning document. This is actually a Word document that I give to all my clients. And this is how you plan everything out, which we're about to cover. And so that free resource is available for you on the website. And if you want to go to it, you will simply go to glamprintgo.com/blog and read the latest article, which is what we're going to cover today. And you'll be able to download this free resource via Google Drive. Okay, and you'll be able to get it in your inbox. So let's talk about, how do you plan out your planner journal project? And even if you've launched a planner and journal, you still can learn from this, because if you're going to be launching a business and you plan on having different planners and journals, you have to have some kind of system, that you run all your projects through. And this is going to help you. So let's go through our steps. Okay. Again, you don't really need to take notes, because I have an article linked with this that outlines everything I'm saying. Okay. So again, if you want to learn more, go to glamprintgo.com/blog, and I've broken it down. Okay. The first step to your project is creating your storage system. Okay. So what I do with all my clients is, we first work out of a Google Drive. Okay. Now you can do Google Drive, you can do Dropbox, but it needs to be a cloud system, because if you do not have a cloud system, I cannot tell you how many times I've had clients where their computers crash. It won't turn on, like something ends up happening and you just can't access what you're working on. So it's best to have a cloud storage system that you save everything through. And then there's a way you break down your storage system. So in the article, which I'm about to break down to you, let's talk about what folders you need for your in the folder. So you want to create a folder, okay? And I recommend for your business, you should be working out of a storage system anyway, a digital storage system. So in your business folder, then there should be folders for your different projects. Does that make sense? So let's say you're working on a teacher planner. I'll make some of a teacher planner. So whatever the name of that planner is, that's the name of the folder. I open the folder, and then here are some examples of subfolders, okay? You should have a folder for interior files. Okay, you should have a folder for cover files. Yes, Sean, I am going to leave this video up. We are back to print school, so we have new content coming out. This is remaining up. So you're going to have interior files. This is where you're going to put all of your interior content, from the content that goes inside to the, when it becomes a PDF file. You should have a folder for cover files. That's all the artwork elements. You should have a folder for the branding and marketing of the planner or journal. So that's where you store color palette choices, fonts, any imagery, any marketing content, mock-ups, okay? And then you want to have a folder for the online store, because when you go live to launch the product, things like product descriptions, you could put the mock-ups there, product photography, retail cost, units, like if you're doing a wholesale program, that can be where the online store files go. And you may say, like, this is super detailed, but I promise you it will change your life, okay? I've been doing this for almost 3 years. It works really well. And then within the main folder, there are 2 documents or several files that just kind of sit in the main folder. The first is your planning document, which is this. This is your free gift that I've made for you guys. Well, not made. This is what I've used for my clients. So I gave you a version of it. This is free on the blog. So this remains in your main folder. And this is what you work out of as the foundation of the project. Okay, we're going to outline in a second what goes in that planning document. What are some things that we think about before we ever design, before we ever touch anything, before we ever spend $1, okay, or a dime. So that's what your folder should look like. This allows if you're working with a designer, it allows you to share the design folder, right? So you don't need to tell them all your business, but it does make it easy to send them files so that you're not sending emails, right? Don't send emails, send folders, okay? So what happens is that in the folder that's for, let's say, branding and marketing, right? You could send that to the designer and say, okay, hey, here are the fonts I'm looking at, here are the colors. Also to inspiration. In your branding and marketing, you can have a subfolder or just files that are like your inspiration board that show examples of covers you like, fonts, color palettes, all that good stuff, okay? So now let's talk about the next step. Once I've created the storage system, and the cool thing about storage systems, you can share them, right? So if you have, again, collaborators or things like that, you can share folders, share particular documents. The next step is to create the planning document. Listen, guys, and this is why this video is like the very first video anyone should watch before you ever create a planner or journal. I'm so excited about this content I'm creating because I'm now seeing things that we need to do. I want to get you guys to do first. So with creating your planning document, which is this, okay, you first sit down and let's talk about what goes in this document, which is, again, on here. The first things we think about are name and author. What's the name of the planner or journal? Who is the author? Will this project go under you as a person or the company? These are all things I ask my clients before we get started, right? Because is this going under you personally? Because when we think about the copyright, all those things we have to ask before we even start the project. Or will this belong to the company? Okay. And when you look at planners and journals, not every project is under an author name, sometimes the copyright belongs to the name of the company. And so that's important. Is this going under a person's name or is this going under a company name? Okay, so that's going to be who the author is. Now, it's important because when you use platforms, though, like Amazon, like KDP, it doesn't ask for a company name. It asks for a specific author because technically you're publishing a book, but we're using it to publish a planner or journal. So it's a little almost like a workaround when you work on platforms like that. And so then we ask, okay, what's the goal page count? This is important. So I was looking at the comments under the starting your prayer journal business, and I saw someone give a comment that said, Genesis, I'm trying to submit the file. It's costing too much. It's 500 something pages. I'm like, 500 pages? Why is it 500 pages? But I have to remember that unless I'm teaching you guys about something like this, you will go off and design something and you'll forget the planning steps. And so the first planning step is you first set your goal page count. You don't create something and then whatever it ends up being, that's the page count. You first set the page count. So what's your goal page count? Now, remember, I recommend if you're a part of Print on a Budget, if you've accessed the workbook Print on a Budget, if you've accessed Launch on a Budget, the course, I recommend 200 pages. If this is your first planner or journal, no more than 200 pages. Max 250, because we want to make sure that the project is going to be cost efficient. Okay. And when you're doing especially print on demand, when you don't have a ton of capital, you don't want to get into those high page counts. It's going to cost you way too much, especially if you're trying to do full color interior. Oh my gosh, keep that page count as low as possible. So what's the goal page count? Are you doing a black and white interior? Are you doing a color interior? That goes in this planning document. You see this? It goes right here. What's the size? All page count. You're typing this into your planning document ahead of time before you ever design, think about, brainstorm. These are the first components, okay? Hardback. What does the manufacturing look like? Is it going to be a hardback, a paperback? Is it going to be coil, right? We got to think about all those things. What will the interior design look like? Now, we're not talking about yet content, but what's the vision for it, right? What are the fonts, colors, right? Like we're thinking about that. Do you need to purchase illustrations, elements, right? Like we need to scope out this project. And then what's the budget for unit costs? We pick that before we ever design anything, because that helps us to limit how much you go off. Because some of you guys love to, I want to have this and I want it to have that. And well, having a budget cost for your units is good. So you may say, you know what, I don't want to go over $4 a unit. I don't want to go over $5 a unit. And we'll get into the budget planning a little bit later, but these are the things I want you guys to think about. How many units are you planning to order? 50, 100. You know your money. So this is not a question, well, I don't know, Genesis. Yes, you do. Look at how much money you're willing to spend for the project. That lets you know how many units. On top of that, do you have an audience built up or not? If you don't have an audience, do not go out and buy 1,000 units. Okay. You want to start where you can comfortably sell your products. Okay. And then who will the printer be for the project? I would pick about 2 to 3 options to at least research. And then you can come back and then you can put in, the research that you get. Listen, Indiana, let me tell you something. You gotta laugh because this is true. I want this, I want that. When you see how much that thing costs, you're like, okay, you know what? Let's start a little bit more basic. And there's nothing wrong with starting off simple, because remember, guys, this is not going to be your only project you'll ever create. But I love that. I'm going to leave this one up because this is some wisdom sometimes. Okay. So these are the things that go in the planning document. Okay. Now, the thing about the planning document is that we use this with my clients. We use this continuously. Like we will always come back to this document because it's the foundational beginning of what the project looks like, what the product looks like. Now, this document does not include, marketing questions like who's your target audience, stuff like that can be in other documents. This is more so for the product creation, like the basic questions. Does that make sense? So once you have that, at the top of the document says upcoming meetings. And this is where you can also insert some basic deadlines. Now, I do recommend, which we're about to talk about next, you having a separate deadline document. But for this, at the basics, you can put upcoming meetings. So, what will your you can put the date, the topic of what your next upcoming meeting will be. Now, let's talk about meetings. Again, planning this project. So here's what I recommend. Okay. Now, if you are a part, if you've bought Print on a Budget or Launch on a Budget, let me know in the comments. If you're watching the replay, let me know if you're a part of the Print School course community and our workbook community, because then you already know some of the things that I teach, right? And one of the things that I teach is, if you've never launched a product before, the 6-month plan that I provide is a healthy plan, because a part of those 6 months is learning to build your audience. Because remember, it's at Print School, we're not obsessed with you making things. We're obsessed with you selling them as well. Because as great as it is to have a product, we want people to experience the product. We want to get it in their hands. So it's very important that you treat this project as if it's a business project. This is not a hobby. This is not a fun idea. If you're trying to do a fun idea, just make it for yourself and call it a day. But the moment you say you want someone else to buy this, it has become a business experience. And so within this, I want you to view, and I talk to my personal brand audience about this, creating meetings. Okay. So some of you guys, when you talk about your plan and journal projects and you say, oh, I'm working on it. When are you going to get it done? Well, whenever I find time. Nope, it's not going to work. What you need to do is you need to create meetings in your calendar with you and the business. So when I look at the week, right, how much time can you commit to getting this project done, right? So we got to look at your calendar. How many months? So before we add these meetings, let's first look at, okay, is it going to take 3 months? 4 months, right? Don't ask, well, I don't know how long. Give yourself a deadline. Say 3 months or say 4 months. Okay. Don't just say, oh, I don't know. No. Put it in place. Again, I think 6 months is healthy, but you can upgrade or decrease the time. Once you figure out the amount of months that you're looking at for it to take. And for print on demand, I definitely recommend 3 to 6 months. Overseas, 3 to 6 months. Print on demand is going to take you way faster anyway, right? So once you've outlined the months, then you have to go into your phases. Now, again, in print, in print on a budget, I give you like a basic breakdown, right? If you have Launch on a Budget, there is that workbook, right? And I detail it all out. And if you do not have any of those resources, I highly recommend, and I can't say this enough because it's going to help you. I highly recommend that you go to glamprintgo.com/print school. Okay, which is our new landing page for the website for Print School. And I recommend you go there and you at least get the, you invest in Print on a Budget. It's only like $30 because that will give you kind of a basic framework for it. And then if you want the in-depth, get Launch on a Budget, that'll give you like it's going to slow you down now. It's not going to help you rush it. It's going to help you slow it down and really look at, okay, how do we break it out? Okay. So once I see what the scope of my project is, then here's important, meet at least once a week. At least once a week, meet with yourself. Okay. And again, we're on deadlines. Meet with yourself once a week minimum for a certain amount of hours, maybe 1 hour, 2 hours, but it needs to be enough to where if you met every week, you would get some stuff done. Put it on the calendar. Do not say, okay, I'm going to work on, when are you going to work on? Whenever I get time. No, on your phone, create a meeting that literally says, planner journal meeting. And guess who it's with? You. It's with you. Yep. And that's your time. And then in a separate document, a deadline document, you can insert
month one, week 2, week 3, week 4, month 2, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. You can outline again what's happening every week. Okay. So this will help you to really see what your project looks like. And to be honest, this is going to help you with any type of product you're ever trying to launch, because you have to create a product calendar. Like, this is what, when I create online courses, like for Print School, we have new courses coming out this month, and this whole year. So I've already outlined in my Google Docs, the new course is coming out, what it's going to include, how long it's going to take me to create them, what I'm doing every week. That's how you have to do it, no matter what kind of product you're creating. So this framework, even though we're talking about planners and journals, you can apply this to any type of product launch that you're doing pretty much. Okay. So again, create your calendar and then develop your working system as far as how often you'll meet with yourself, what you're working on, and again, what that entails. Okay. Once you get that, now we talk about setting the budget. Okay, let's talk about this. I don't think I've talked about this a ton in this particular way of project management, but we're going to talk about it in today with this. Now, the budget part is not in your planning document. Okay, this should be a separate, this can be a spreadsheet. This could be a Google Doc if you work easier in like a Word document with this, or you can, of course, go even deeper and use a money management system like QuickBooks. So one of the problems that I often see with people always ask me, like, whenever they're trying to work with me, Genesis, what should my budget be? Like, you have a set kind of range, but, I don't know how much it costs. I don't know what it's going to cost or what's going to entail. Actually, you create the budget. Okay. Because what you don't want to do is not have a budget. It's kind of like if anyone's ever done construction on their home, it's easy to spend a ton of money if you don't set that budget. Oh, an extra $1,000 here, extra $2,000, and we know things happen in construction where, you may spend a little bit more than planned. But let me tell you something, you better have a budget. And your budget is based upon what you actually can afford. And it's important that you don't overspend, because in a business, you have to have enough money to operate the business. And some of you guys have MBAs or business gurus, but you would be surprised how many clients I have who have MBAs. But when you have a passion project, you want to put everything in it, right? This is your dream. This is your baby, But guys, it's not a baby. It's not a real human child. Okay. It's not a human child. It's a product. And because of that, you need to have more restraint on how much you spend. So let's talk about money. If your budget is, let's just say, $500 or $1,000 or $2,000, whatever your amount is, that includes many things. Let's talk about the many things that it includes. Again, this is in the article. What does it include? It includes design, because you got to pay. If you're not designing it yourself, you don't have to pay for design. And I'm going to tell you this right now. If you're using Canva to design your planners and journals, you better have Canva Pro. Because if you need to resize a document after maybe you need to make adjustments, you do not want to have to redo that whole file again because you do not have the upgraded version of the resize tool. That resize tool is heaven in Canva. Okay. So it's important that Canva, that's going to cost you, right? They have a 30-day free trial, but after that, it's going to cost you. So, what are you using for design? You want to set a budget. Okay. So it's important that even, let's say, you're like, Genesis, I'm not going to design. I'm a hire designer, but set a budget for how much you can devote to design. Okay. And you can always tweak your budget, because you may have more money left over in other areas of the project, but this literally is assigning money to pots, to like little parts of the project. So you have design. You also have to order a sample. We may have to order several samples. Let's say the first sample comes in, you don't like it. You want to make changes to it. You also have to order the units, and it doesn't count shipping. Units are just units. Doesn't count shipping, right? So you have to factor in, do we have the money to set aside money for not just the sample, not just the units, but for shipping, okay? Then some platforms like Ingram Spark, other ones, they charge you to even produce the product. So, like, with Ingham Spark, they have different levels of, working on their platform. Well, that's a fee that has to be in the budget. So, depending upon what manufacturers you're using, you need to ask questions such as, does it cost to use the platform? How does it work as far as money and payment is concerned? What are the payment arrangements or options for how you order your units? Do they require all up front, 50%? Got it. Then you have to think about customer packaging, poly mailers, labels, a scale, anything that you would stuff the packages in. You need to have that in the budget. Okay, because why? This is a business. This is not a passion project where you're going to just stash your money away and whatever comes, you'll pay for it. You start thinking like a business. Okay, these are expenses. Okay, so you need to have that. You also think about marketing costs. If you're going to have a Shopify site that's $29 a month, that money needs to be set aside. Okay, not just like, oh, I'm gonna just put $29 a month every month, and if no, set that aside. So can you stash away 3 months worth, 4 months, 5, whatever? Do not run your business from month to month. That is very dangerous because, and I want to keep it real. I remember when I first started my very first business and I didn't have a lot of money, right? $29 a month was a lot of money to come out of my pocket when I was only making $750 every 2 weeks, right? Some of you guys are making less than that, and that this is not about some people say, oh, that's not that's not a lot of money, but for some people, I remember for me it was $29 a month was a lot, but I needed a platform to run my business, right? So your website costs, your domain, all that, your business email, like, making sure that's in the budget, because even though we're talking about planners and journals, this is a business launch. So there are other things that support that budget, not just you being able to buy planners and journals. Now, if you already have a business and this is you're just making a planner and journal to put within the business, then you don't have to worry about that. You've already built up your business. But for those of you who are launching a business, that is very important to factor all those costs in. That does not also factor in licenses or, you having to pay for your business, cost of operation. If you're getting an LLC, whether it's annual fees or taxes, like all those things are important to put into that mindset of launch. Okay, so that's important. If you're getting a POS, I had a client meeting today. She's launching her Shopify store for her planners and journals, and she needs to go purchase the Shopify reader. It's $49. It's $49, right? Her Shopify is $29 a month, right? These are factors in the budget. So again, I'm trying to, bring you guys into that mindset. And again, if you're looking for a in-depth breakdown of how you do your marketing, and yes, I'm going to plug myself because I do believe that my products are awesome. But again, if you're looking for a more in-depth way to break down how you do all those different phases of your project, the marketing, the launches, the pre-orders, all that, definitely go to glamprgo.com/Prince School. And there's a link on checking out our courses. And again, the Launch on a Budget course, I think, is going to be very helpful for that. Now, once you have that phase, the final phase, anyone want to guess what it is? Get started. Yeah. Once you have those basics, again, these are just foundational concepts, right? But once you have that, then go get started. Now, what is the thing that you get started with the first? Well, I'm glad that you asked, because next week I'm coming with a new video. We're going to talk about how to brainstorm. Is anyone excited about that? Anyone want to learn more about that? How do you do your brainstorms, right? Like, okay, I have the concept in my head, but how do I plan out this interior content, right? Because that's a question I get on the YouTube channel all the time. Genesis, I'm hearing you, but I have a new planner journal concept of another, planner journal concept, but how do I plan out content? What goes inside? Well, I'm working on different videos based upon your different planner journal concepts. And so I want to create different videos. We're going to first kick off with journals. Then we're going to do another video next week on planners. These are going to be pre-recorded. These will not be live streams. And I'm going to literally, I have these, these huge Post-it white sheets, and I'm going to literally sketch out and show you how to plan out these different components for your niche based or regular based planners and journals. How do you plan out a journal interior content layout? How do you plan out a planner interior content layout? Because again, and if I can say this as we come to an end, I've been watching a lot of planner journals getting launched, and they all look the same, guys. They have they have pretty covers, but they just have cute names. All the names are different, but then they have cute covers, but that's about it. I open up the interior and it's the same thing. I see for planners, I see a monthly layout. I see a weekly breakdown. Ask me cute little couple questions for my week. That's it. Right. I open up a journal. You give me some cute questions. I get line pages. That's it. And I want to show you guys how to really step yourself up to the next level from the crowd, because it's very important that you're not just making generic planners and journals, because this market is getting really saturated. I'm not sure if anyone's been watching, but man, everybody is launching planners and journals. And as much as I love it, I also want to make sure that you're staying unique in how you're creating your products. So again, if you've learned anything from this video, again, shout out to everyone in the live chat on Facebook and YouTube. Love you guys so much. If you've learned anything from, let's go back through our steps. Step 1 is to create your storage system in your Google Drive, some kind of cloud system, Dropbox, whatever it is that you have. The second step is to create your planning document, which we've covered, and you can get your free version of this by going to glampergo.com/blog. Okay, this is where you'll get the free. It's all in the article. We have a new article on the website, and it's called "Planning Your Planner Journal Project." Free project planning document. And that's what this is. You'll get the free Word document version of it. Okay, so once you have step 2, which is creating your planning document, then you want to add deadlines and develop your system. Okay. And I have new articles coming out, guys. I know I've been away for a year, but man, I've been working. So I have articles that are going to teach you on different softwares you can use to really get yourself into the business mindset. Because again, for some of you guys, this is not the only project that you'll ever have. You're going to be making different planners and journals, or courses, classes, webinars. Maybe you're going to be offering coaching or consulting. So how do you, plan those things out? Step 4 is going to be to set your budget. We talked about a little bit today on how to set a basic budget. Again, you can use a spreadsheet system, QuickBooks, something where it helps you to literally look at the scope of what you're spending. And again, you set the number first. You don't get into the project and then you just start spending the money. If your budget is 500, it's 500. If it's 1,000, it's 1,000. If it's 2,000, it's 2,000. If it's 5,000, it's 5,000. If it's 10,000, it's 10,000. Okay. And remember that this very important detail, it doesn't include shipping. So make sure you have money set aside for those different avenues that we also covered. And then last but not least, get started. Stop overthinking these projects, guys. Stop overthinking them. Stop overthinking them. Today's post on my Instagram, and we are going to be kicking back up the Instagram for Glam Print Go. But one of the biggest reasons why most projects don't get done is overthinking. Overthinking is when you've given yourself too many choices. That's what overthinking is. You've given yourself too many open doors, and you keep on thinking and thinking and thinking. It's because, again, you're allowing yourself to do that. You've given yourself too many choices. And when you eliminate all the choices, you only get down to 2 things. Get it done or don't do it at all. Okay? And so in order to do that, you have to learn how to eliminate. One of the things that we covered in today's video was the setting the meetings. Right? If someone says, Genesis, I'm working on a planner journal project, I'm planning on getting it done in 3 months. And I ask you, what have you done that will give yourself that commitment to getting it done in 3 months? The first step is doing the meetings. Got it? Because if you aren't making it a priority to work on the project, you're not going to get it done in 3 months. I can promise you that. Because no matter how much you may tell me you're going to get the project done, if you've never committed to a time to meet and work on your own project, it'll be 5 months have gone by and you may have worked on the project maybe once a week or, for a couple minutes here, a couple minutes there, whenever you find the time or whenever you remember it. But you can keep it at the top of your remembrance by putting it in as a meeting. And guys, let me tell you something. This is a lesson for anyone in business. Anyone in business. No matter what kind of business you have, if you're launching your own business, if you have a 9 to 5, let's say you work a 9 to 5, and you're like, you know what, Genesis, in 2022 or whatever year you're watching this, I want to grow my business. I want to grow my passion. The first step is treating it like a business. You know how you treat it like a business? You act like you have hours. You give yourself hours. Give yourself, and I teach this actually to my coaching students, you create your hours. So if you have a 9 to 5 on your job, then for your business, you should have a Monday from 7 p.m. to 8:30. That's when you're open for business. And that's when you work on your business. Okay. So again, I hope that these things helped you. Here's what I would love for you to do. The first thing I would love for you to do is to go get the free planning document. Go to glampergo.com/blog. And I want you to go and access this document. Okay. I want you to get this document in your hands. Okay. And I'm seeing right now that people have already signed up. Yep. I see people coming into the funnel, and you guys are already accessing the freebie. So thank you so much. Let me shout out a few people who I see who just came through in it. I see, does it give me a first and last name? I think it just got emails, darn it. Well, L Roundtree, I see you in there. I see Nigel Fletcher. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Nigeli, or I'm just going to say, hey, Fletcher. Don't want to butcher anybody's name. I see you guys in there. So again, as you're coming in, be sure to download this document. It's a Word document. So you can download this, tweak it, do whatever you want to do, add more content to it. Maybe you put everything in this document, okay? And the second thing I want you to do is I want you to go to glampergo.com/print school. We're moving Join Print School back to the main website moving forward. And so with that, this link will take you to just connect with everything on the platform. And then guess what? Here's the third thing I want you to do. If you go to, and I want to give you this, we just created a Q&A form, because moving forward for the YouTube channel, I want to start having a regular schedule, uploading. And I want to know, what do you want to learn about? What are things, today we talked about planning your journal, your planner journal project. This is a great video, great resource on you learning on how to break it up. But what are some other things that you would like to learn? Well, if you go to GlamPrintGo/questions, there is a question form that you can now go to submit questions. And this is all for the YouTube channel and for articles, because I want to start writing more articles like the ones that have this, where it breaks it down in written content. And that way you can print out the articles, put them in maybe your planner journal business resource binder or whatever you may have, and of course, as you're working through some of the courses that I have and classes, it can really help to supplement that. So definitely visit glamprintgo.com/questions to submit your YouTube questions for the channel. The last announcement that I have for you is that we just uploaded some free resources on the course platform. And I want to show you those resources. And the way to get there is, again, if you go to glamprintgo.com/print school, there is a link for you to check out the courses and the workbooks that we have on the site. And I want to show you two resources that we just share the screen. Give me a second, guys. Okay, so this is the platform. So when you go to our courses and workbooks, you will see this is where all of our students are. So this is where you can create an account and get access to free resources and our paid resources. I want to talk about the Print Vault really quickly. The Print Vault is something that I just put up today. So if you are on our email list, you're going to get an email just to remind you, but I just put it up today. And this has 2 resources that we had from previous years, but now it's on the course platform. So these 2 are related to each other, but you're going to get, this is for free. So literally all you got to do is click buy now, put in your email address. And if you already have an account, it'll just prompt you. You can just log in. But you're going to get the Build Your Following PDF. It teaches you on how to build your following over the course of a couple months. Free resource. Now, if you want to learn way more, get in the launch on a budget course. But this is a great way to wet your feet. And then the Print School Content Challenge, which gives you access to this free template right here that you see. This is a social media and planning. Basically, it's a weekly content calendar template. It's through Google Sheets that I created. And we sent this out for free, like I think almost like a year ago last year through the community. But some of you may have forgotten about it, or maybe you're new and never got access to it. So I uploaded it so that you can get access to that as well. We also have the vendor checklist and resources resource in the platform, where this is a vendor checklist. This is actually pulled from my Print Boss. I'm going to make an announcement about that in a second, but this is pulled from the Print Boss workbook, the over 120 pages workbook. And I pulled one sheet, actually it's two sheets, I think it's three actually I pulled. And this is your vendor checklist. It gives you a list of all the things if you're going to be an in-person vendor. And we know the world right now is a little bit uneasy with in-person, but even if you're selling online, some of these things are very resourceful for you to have. So you're going to get that checklist. Plus, there's a link to go to the complimentary YouTube video I did with this back in 2018. You see me right there? Back in 2018. So you can watch the video in training and then download the resource, okay? And then the other thing is, of course, always check out our paid products. We have two, which is Launching a Budget online course. This is the really in depth. I mean, this is it. And we just added the payment plan to this. So this will allow you to break down the payment. It's $197, and we've allowed the payment plans now. So now you can access it for two payments of $99, and you can read more about it. It breaks down for those of you who are launching print on demand projects. So, smaller budget projects. We talk about launching your community, picking your printer, product details and expansion, design options, your work for hire contracts, marketing your projects, your marketing workbooks, how to set up your Shopify store, how to do pre-orders, how to do a pre-order planner. I give you all that, how to launch your business. Plus, it has our 2020 and 2021 trainings, such as how to create a product that solves problems, how to have the art of the niche. And I have more videos that I actually did last year that I'm adding to the student portal for those of you who are enrolled in Launch on a Budget. And then if you're looking to get your feet wet, you're just starting out, and you may not want to invest in a very maybe a higher paid option, I recommend Print on a Budget. It's $30. It's a digital download. We've sold over 1,000 copies of this. I got to update the 500. We've sold over 1,000 copies of this. And this is this is important. It's a simple 6-month plan on how to get started. So it's just to wet your feet. So please do not purchase this and think that there's a business plan in here. It's going to teach you how to have business models, or it's going to teach you on how to launch, this. It's only $30. So it's going to teach you just enough to get your feet wet to understand the first set of steps. And then once you've done that, you can then go into the next level, which is going to be, the Launch on a Budget, which is, okay, now that I'm familiar, now let me build this business, okay? And again, even if you're not building a business, let's say you're launching a planner and journal, the Launch on a Budget is really, really great at teaching you the in-depths of like how to launch a product. It's really good. So I highly recommend that. And I'm not just saying that because I'm selling a product, but the feedback from our students, it's just been impeccable. I cannot wait. I have clients and students who've launched their own planners and journals from taking these courses and these products. So again, if you are someone who has taken these products, these resources, and you've launched your own planner and journal, reach out to me so that we can interview you for the channel, and we can talk about your project that you've worked on or launched. I would love to feature you on the platform so we could talk more about it. Guys, I want to thank you guys so much for joining me for today's video. I hope that today's training helped you to learn more about planning. Again, our topic today was all about planning your planner or journal product. Please be sure to visit the website. Again, go to glamprintgo.com /blog to get access to, Indiana, yes, especially the health one you just launched, and hold on, we also want to talk about what's the one that I love the cover of? there's one you launched. It's a gorgeous cover. And I want to say it was on, I don't think it's relationships. I think it's on like, it's a healing journal. Yeah, we got to talk on that one. So I would love to bring you on. So guys, again, be sure to go to glamprintgo.com. Yes, the Be Loved. We got to talk about that. We got to bring you up and talk about that one because that one, woo, it was good. You did an awesome job. So again, glamprintgo.com/blog. Go get the free resource, okay? If you're watching the replay, send me a comment, guys. Be sure to subscribe as well. If you are new to the channel, I probably should say this. If you're new to the YouTube channel, be sure to subscribe. If you're not watching this on YouTube, maybe you're watching this on Facebook, hop over to YouTube and type in Print School. You're going to find the channel. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you loved it. Okay, and be sure to share this video as well with someone who is maybe interested in planners and journals because we have more content coming out. And last but not least, join the email list. So when you join the email list, I have emails coming out this week. I mean, literally every week. So if you don't want to miss out on those resources, again, go to glamprintgo.com / I know it's a lot of links. It's all on the same website, Print School. Join the email list so that we don't miss out on anything that we have for you. Okay, guys, love you guys so much. Be blessed. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.